Hello and welcome to the 6th video of creating a matrix style animation or widget. So the first thing I want to do is show you what we're going to be making today. Okay, so today we're going to be working with JavaScript and we're going to be making this animation, this changing of one phrase to the other. So this is what we're going to be working today, so let's get down to it. Before I tell you the tasks that I'm going to do, I want to talk about the logic problems to solve. So with JavaScript or with any kind of programming language, it's not the coding that's the difficult bit, it's the figuring out the best way to do it. So the things that we need to do, we need to make a frame that we want to change randomly, or we want to make a frame that we randomly change the characters. However, after each frame we want to get closer to the full conversion from one phrase to the other. So for example, if we have the first phrase hello, the first couple of characters get transferred to a random character, and then more and more as the frame goes on gets transferred, but then as we go through the animation, it gets closer to the final phrase that we want. So the things that we need to think about then for solving this problem is what values can we assign to measure the progress of the animation. So we need to measure the progress, and as the progress goes on we need to convert more and more of that phrase. How can we know when the conversion is complete? As longer phrases will take long to convert. So if it's just one or two characters, then it will convert quite quickly. However, if it's a longer character or if it's a longer phrase, it's going to take a longer time to convert. So we need a way of kind of making sure that our code knows when it's fully converted. And how can we use a value or values to slow down, to slowly convert the phrase? So we don't want it to convert straight away, we want it to convert slowly over time. So maybe the second frame will only be converting a little, but on the second to last frame we want the majority of it to be converted. So these are kind of some of the questions that we need to think about when devising a solution for our animation. So pause the video and see if you can come up with some of the answers for this. Okay, so hopefully you've stopped the video and answered the questions or attempted to do them. So let's have a look at the answers. So to measure the progress of the animation, what we could do is create a variable called frame1. And then what will happen is every time we call the JavaScript request animation frame function or method, we can increment the frame up. And what the method will do is it will just allow us to reset the widget, as it were, to make the changes that we want to make. So that allows us to actually measure the progress of our animation. So now that we have a frame variable, how do we know when the conversion is complete? Well, we can create another value called the complete flag. And what this complete flag can do is every time that one of the characters is changed to the second phrase, we can increase that flag. So for example, in the second phrase, there's all the same, there's none of the new phrases letters, so nothing is completed. In the third frame we have 2, and so we can increase that complete flag to 2, and we go through the frames, and then at the end we can do a check, and we can say, well, if the complete flag has the same length, equals the length of this phrase, then we know that this is complete. It's completely changed, and the conversion has finished. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to create a value so that the random changes like this happen throughout the frames, but also that the conversions don't all happen at the same frame. So we want some conversions to happen earlier on and some conversions to happen later on. So we want a random effect here. Well, what we could do is for each character, we can create a start value and a finish value. And what we can say is this start value equals the frame. So when this value equals this value, we want to start doing random conversions. We want to say, for this character, I want you to pick a random conversion, a random character, and each time there's a frame, we're going to change that character to that random character. And then what we can say is, well, when the frame equals this finished one, then I want you to actually change that character into the finish, into the new phrase character. And so what we need to do is we need to randomly assign these characters values. So that's what we need to do. We're going to randomly assign each of these characters a value that will be, this is when we start doing random character conversion, this is when we complete that conversion, and we change that character into the completed phrase character. Importantly, what we have to do then is make sure that the length of this matches up to the length of this. So initially what we'll have to do is, because this is much shorter, we'll actually have to add in characters to this phrase so that the length matches that. And we'll have to make sure that those added in characters are spaces, so they don't affect the title, but each of those spaces also has a start and finish value. And then that will allow us to slowly and randomly convert it. So that is the logic that we're going to use to make our JavaScript. So in the next video, I'm going to be building the JavaScript using this logic.